Janet,
Hi, how are you?
It's good to see you again.
Thanks, you too.
Have a seat.
It's getting cold out there.
I know it has been getting colder. The weather is so crazy.
Yeah.
So, did you get here okay today?
The same kind of annoying. It was a little annoying, but I got a ride today, so it was more leisurely than it has been in the past.
Well, that's good. At least you got here and you're able to get here on time. So did your husband have the car today? I'm assuming since you got a ride.
Yeah, he has a car. I told him again that I was meeting with my sister, so my sister didn't drop me off. Though.
Okay, well that's nice.
Yeah,
at least you got that support system.
Yes.
All right. So the last time you were here and the time before that, we kind of discussed like your relationship with your son, and then your relationship with your husband, and how it's abusive and you want to get out of it, and how you are looking for childcare for your son. And then the time before that, in our first session, we talked about how like I'm technically a mandated reporter and all of that stuff, and about consent, and if you everything's confidential unless I feel like you're gonna harm yourself or harm someone else. Yeah. And did that all make sense to you? Did you have any questions regarding all that?
I haven't come up with any questions.
Okay. Well, if you do, just let me know, and I'm always available to answer your questions. So today I thought it would be good if we just kind of talked a little bit more about what we talked about last time, and then also start to set like some goals and objectives and how you're going to deal with like the problems we have talked about and how to make those better. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. So last time we did talk about your son, and we also talked about your husband. So is there anything like specifically that you would like to start with?
I think it could be really useful to talk about my son first.
Okay. Yeah. So right now, is he with your husband right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, he's at home with him.
Okay. And is that going okay still?
I still haven't had any problems happen, but it does make me slightly uncomfortable still, even though I know I shouldn't really worry for his safety or anything.
Right. Okay, so you do feel like your son is safe when he's with your husband?
Yeah.
For the most part.
There's something in my gut that tells me it's not fully right, but I really don't think I have any reason, to feel like he'd be unsafe.
Right.
But still, I'd like to find some other arrangements.
Do you mind elaborating on what you mean when you say just gut feeling, like why you don't think he might be safe with your husband?
I feel like just knowing what he's been capable of in the past and like hurting me, and not just like physically, but like saying mean stuff too. I feel like it's kind of just like that could happen to my son. Like that's the feeling, I guess. But yeah, like I said, there's no reason. He's never done anything before, so I feel like I don't really have much justification for thinking that he would hurt him.
Right. So just based on your experience with him, you have a little like hesitation when he said that he might do something, but you really don't have proof or actually justifying it.
Right.
Okay.
It's been good thus far.
That's good.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I understand why you would be worried about that just based on what he has done in the past. Okay, so we also discussed last time about he doesn't have childcare anymore because your husband got laid off. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. And so is there any specific type of care that you might in the future want your son to be in?
I want him to be in a daycare where I'll be able to take him to, because I don't want to count on my husband to be able to drive him there. Mm-hmm. So somewhere that could hopefully accommodate both him and my coming baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and somewhere ideally close to work or close to my home.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I was wondering if you have you ever thought about maybe seeing if there's a daycare just where you work, since you do work in a hospital, and maybe there's a daycare within the hospital.
I actually haven't thought of that before. I know that I've heard of other hospitals doing it, but I had childcare before, so I never
Right.
even thought to look into that.
Mm-hmm. Would that be something you might be interested in looking into?
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a really good place to start. I'm surprised that I didn't think of that before, actually.
Okay. Okay, so in regards to, as long as like paying for childcare, have you thought about what you might be able to do?
I I don't really feel like the cost is too much of a concern for me right now, which is good. But I also know that I'm not looking for like a like fully inclusive program. I don't know, what we had before worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can still afford something along the same lines, as long as I don't have to worry about like transportation and like any, surprise fees
Right.
coming up or anything.
Could you tell me a little bit about what it looked like at your old childcare, like what you did like about that one?
Well, we had really good communication with all the like directors and the teachers there.
That's helpful.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I was able to drop my kids off, or my son off there, but it took a really long time because my husband would already be at work, so I just have to plan like a bus schedule, or I could sometimes afford to taxi, but to get him there in the mornings. But it was worth it because I really liked the director and everything, and he seemed to have fun because there were a lot of kids, but not too many.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 30. So
Okay,
yeah.
that sounds good. It sounds like he really enjoyed himself there.
Yeah, he loved it. I really want him to be back with other kids. I think that was a really, really good thing for him.
Yeah, it sounds like he had a great time there. So it seems like one of your biggest goals would be to just find a place for your son to be during the day as far as childcare. Is that right? Okay.
Somewhere other than home.
Right. So in order to do that, do you think you could contact anyone in your, like where you do work, in order to see if childcare is an option within the hospital?
I know I'm not really familiar with people outside of my like supervisor and like the person above that, and oh my god, my boss has been such a pain lately that I don't know if like I don't want to talk to him about this too. I don't know where I would go, but he sent me on like 8 wild goose chases when I was at work the other day, and just like wasted so much of my time, and then I got in trouble with like 2 doctors who were just like upset with me, and it was a really stressful day, and I don't like, my boss has been bothering me a lot lately.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've been really stressed out at work lately.
Yeah.
And I would love to discuss that in more depth, but do you mind if we just continue talking about childcare, and then we can definitely go back to that?
No, yeah, that's totally fine. That's
great. Okay. So what do you think is like a realistic time frame of like how you could get in touch with someone to see if there's childcare at your hospital?
I feel like finding someone,
or just someone to talk to about it.
right? I could probably make a call or find an office within like the next week just to see if that's an option at my hospital at all.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds like a good plan. And then also, just in case that isn't an option, have you thought about contacting any other places like within your area?
I haven't looked into any ones in particular, but it's something that I really do need to start moving on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe if you wanted to contact a couple different daycares just within your community that you could maybe easily get to, do you think maybe doing that in the next month would be appropriate time frame for you?
Yeah, I think in the next month I could have like 3 possibilities done.
Okay, that sounds good. And then you also mentioned that you transportation would be an issue because your husband has the car and you don't want to have to rely on him to take your son to daycare.
Right.
So maybe, have you thought about what you might do for transportation?
I think the safest bet at this point is to just find a good bus system and one that has like frequent stops and everything that I could accommodate.
Okay.
Hopefully on my way to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. So maybe by the time, what do you think would be a realistic, just so it could accommodate your schedule of when you could maybe look into those bus systems?
Well, I feel like I'm not really sure where to look right now, but I think that in finding like possible childcare places to begin with, I should do it kind of at the same time. So hopefully like by the end of the month I'd be able to find some that would work.
Great. And also I can always like give you other resources and stuff on like I think my supervisor has like maps and bus schedules. I'm not exactly sure of where you would want your child to be, but we have resources and I could definitely bring those to the next meeting if you want, and we could look at those together if that helps.
Yeah, I feel like that could be really helpful.
Okay, great. I will definitely do that for next time.
The buses can be really overwhelming to me, so.
Yeah, they can be very confusing. Okay, so I think we got a lot accomplished today as far as what you're gonna do for childcare for your son, and we did set some great goals for you. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss today?
I can't think. I feel a little bit of relief just like having this plan set out. So there's nothing that I really feel the need to talk about.
Okay, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. And thank you so much for coming in again.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, so if there's nothing else, I guess I'll see you at our next session if that works for you.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go have dinner with my sister, so I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be fun. I hope that goes well.
Well, thank you so much. I will see you soon.
Okay, bye. It was great to see you.